How's it going, everybody? Landon with LMR.com. In this video, I'm going to be providing my quick overview as well as installing these replacement speedometer cables intended for the 1979 to 1993 box body Mustang. The speedometer cable starts at the back of the gauge cluster, exits out of the firewall, makes its way down the underside of the car, and its final stop is at the transmission. This cable is needed to translate drivetrain revolutions into a numerical, easy to read number so you know how fast you're going down the road. Oftentimes, a telltale sign of a defective speedometer cable is a jumping or unstable needle, or you simply don't have a reading at all. Each of these cables are a direct replacement for their intended applications. Of the two variants, the first cable is designed for 1979 to 1985 carbureted Mustangs without cruise control. This cable measures in at approximately 76 inches. For some reason, your 79 to 85 car is equipped with cruise, you'll need the cable that is designed for the speed sensor. Speaking of the speed sensor, all EFI or fuel-injected Fox bodies came equipped with a speed sensor, whether it has cruise control or it does not. From the factory, those cars were equipped with a speed sensor. This particular cable designed for the cars with the speed sensor measures in at approximately 71.5 inches. These particular cables will be installed into a 1988 coupe, so some things are obviously going to differ depending on your car. To get started, go ahead and remove your negative battery cable. To remove your old cable, begin by removing the upper and lower steering column trim pieces. Next, remove the retaining screws securing the lower dash. Set the dash piece aside and remove the lower metal support plate. Set this aside and go ahead and grab a flathead screwdriver. Use this flathead screwdriver to release the tabs from the headlight switch and the emergency flasher switch. Carefully pull them forward and disconnect the electrical connections. Go ahead and remove the 4 cluster surround screws. There will be 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. Carefully remove the cluster surround from the car. Now remove the 5 attaching screws that retain the gauge cluster to the dash. Once removed, pull the cluster forward and disconnect the electrical connections. To release the speedometer cable, squeeze the clip and slide it out of the cluster. Go ahead and set the cluster aside. Pop the hood and locate the cable at the firewall. Pull it out of the grommet and then remove the old grommet. In our case, this one was totally dry rotted and will need to be replaced along with the new cable. We carry both the automatic and manual speedometer cable grommets at LMR.com. Grommet locations are different depending on the transmission in your Mustang. If you have a manual transmission, the speedo cable enters the firewall just to the left of the clutch cable and throttle cable. If you have an automatic transmission, the speedometer cable enters the firewall just to the right of the throttle cable. Go ahead and support the car via a lift or jack stands. In our case, we remove the mid-pipe to provide a better understanding for this particular install. The mid-pipe does not have to be removed to service the speedometer cable. Pry back the metal body clip to free the cable. Remove the retaining bolt that secures the cable to the frame rail via a cable bracket. Pull the cable down and underneath the car. Remove the retaining bolt that secures the cable to the transmission. Slide the cable out of the transmission and then go ahead and remove it from the car. Pry open the cable bracket, clean it, and set it aside. If your car is equipped with a speed sensor, pull up on the hairpin clip and slide the sensor off of the cable. Take this time to clean the sensor with some quality electric parts cleaner. Slide the new cable into the speed sensor and secure it with the hairpin clip. Now would be a perfect time to switch out your speedometer gear if you have to. In case you didn't know, speedometer gears with a longer shaft are for automatic transmission, while speedo gears with a shorter shaft are for manual transmissions. If you need to change the speedometer gear, pry off the retaining clip and then remove the gear from the cable or speed sensor. Thoroughly clean the area, slide on the new gear, followed by the retaining clip. From underneath the car, route the cable towards the top of the engine. Install the previously removed cable bracket. Position the bracket on the frame rail and retighten the retaining bolt. Slide the cable back into the metal clip. Secure the cable or speed sensor with the retaining bolt. Make sure the frame rail bolt is tight and you're done with the steps for underneath the car. Pass the cable through the firewall. Take this time to install a new firewall grommet. If you have a car with a speed sensor, you can slide the grommet over the cable first. Now, if you have a car without a speed sensor, you'll have to cut the grommet, slide it over the cable, and then plug it into the firewall. From inside of the car, finish passing the cable through the dash. Go ahead and grab your cluster, plug in the electrical connections and the speedometer cable. Retighten the retaining screws. Reassemble all of your interior pieces and plug in the negative battery cable. Take the car for a quick spin to verify everything functions properly. After that, you're all finished. All right, fellas, as far as installation goes, you can probably set aside roughly 2 hours to get these installed into your car. Switching out speedometer cables and gears is rather straightforward. Other than the cable, I would recommend a new firewall grommet and take this time to verify the speedometer in your car is reading properly. If not, use our Speedo gear calculator to help you pinpoint which speedometer gear you need for your application. To see more how-to and review videos covering industry-leading products, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, and don't forget to turn on notifications. While you're at it, check out our other videos, and don't forget to shop lmr.com for all things 1979 to present Mustang, and of course, SVT Lightning.